everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. We're kicking off our new series, Ask Epic. And so this is going to be a weekly series, and we're going to discuss all things Epic. It's meant to help our new families, people that are thinking about coming to Epic or are recently enrolled. But, you know, with as many choices and opportunities as we have at Epic, there's a lot to learn. And so we hope that even some of our veteran families can learn something new in these and maybe even offer advice or experiences to help out our new people. And so we're just really excited about this. And thank you so much, those of you that are here tuning in. My name is Ashley Brown. I am a former teacher at Epic, and now I'm with our strategy and development team. And I'll let my partner here introduce herself.
All right. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Well, hello, everyone. We've already said hello already. And yes, thank you for joining us. My name is Carla Smitherman. I've been in education for many years, and now I am a SPED teacher with Epic, but I am also a part of the amazing new team, Epic Strategy and Development. We have so many great teams with Epic. I just want to say that as a person who's worked in Epic system for 4 years, we just have some great personnel and great people to work with. But anyway, we are looking to help future, past, and current Epic caregivers get the information they need to make the best decision possible for their student. This week's topic is enrolling at Epic. So grab your coffee or water and let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, exciting. I know I've got my water here and a protein drink because I am having a quick and easy lunch today.
Good deal.
So we have a guest today, which we're excited about. We may not always have guests, but sometimes we will when it's needed. And today's guest, we have Michelle Valdez joining us, and she is the Director of Enrollment at Epic. And being that today's topic is enrollment, she was the perfect guest, and we are so lucky to have her answer all of our questions and yours regarding enrollment. So thank you so much, Michelle, for being here today.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to be here and answer any questions anybody has to help them figure out how to enroll.
Awesome. We so appreciate you and your team. You all do a great job every year.
Thank you so much.
But before we get started, Michelle and Ashley, I know you all, everybody on this call remembers their senior year. So we need to stop and congratulate our Epic 2023 graduates. We have over 4,000, everyone. And we're just excited about all the enthusiasm and the wonderful, steadfast families and that have been with Epic, and we're looking forward to seeing them cross the stage, those who haven't already. So congratulations to the seniors of 2023 with Epic. So we'll go ahead and get started with Ashley now talking about the 3 components of enrollment.
Yes. So when Carla and I were kind of talking about today's topic, we were thinking, what are the things we want people to know when it comes to enrollment? And so we came up with 3 important things that if you're planning on enrolling, you really want to make sure you're familiar with. And so the first one is just knowing, number 1, where do I enroll and how do I do it? And so to enroll, you're going to go, it's pretty easy. On the Epic website, we have a button at the top that says enroll, or maybe enroll now. And it's really easy to find for our new families. You'll just click that button and you create an account. It takes about 20-30 minutes to complete. And you can, let's say you get started and you get interrupted. We all have children, right? You know how it goes. The good news is you can stop and save your progress and come back to it later. I know for me, that's really helpful because I can't ever just, with my kids are home, you know how it is. So it's nice that we can stop and start and come back later. And so, yeah, you'll just hop on there and enroll that way. For our existing families, if you didn't know, you do enroll on PowerSchool. And so you can access it the same way that our new families can. Go to the enroll button on our website, but click that you need re-enrollment, and it's going to take you, it's basically going to take you back to PowerSchool. If for any reason you cannot get into your PowerSchool, this happens all the time. And the good news is our customer service team is amazing. They get back to you super fast. I've dealt with this a lot when I'm working with families. I'll either call them or I can email them and just say, hey, this person needs access into their PowerSchool, and it's resolved usually within the hour. And so once you've gotten access back to your PowerSchool account, you could just log on and complete your enrollment that way.
That's good. Great. Exactly. Ashley, it does happen a lot for our families. So good to know that there's an answer for that. So what's the next component? What do I need to enroll? Well, the first thing you need to know is your application can be done on the phone. It's mobile friendly, which is amazing, but it is not compatible with Internet Explorer. So we recommend Google Chrome. The next component we discuss is proof of residency, which we can discuss that with you at any time. You have any questions about that? Again, we have Michelle with us today who can answer any questions, or you can put in the chat box right now if you have a question about it. The second one is birth certificate. You'll need a copy of the student's birth certificate to enroll. Last but not least, you'll need a copy of the shot record.
Yep. Yeah, and you'll just have those 3 things ready to go and get those uploaded. Makes it really simple if you've got it just ready to go in advance. And so the final component that I get asked all the time from parents, let's say they've enrolled, they always ask me, now what? What happens? When am I going to hear from my teacher? So let me just walk you through kind of what happens as soon as you hit submit. So when you hit submit on that enrollment form, you should get immediately a confirmation email from Epic saying, yes, you have submitted your application, we've received it. If you don't see that email within an hour, maybe 2, it might be smart to log back on and just check to make sure everything looks good and that it really did submit. You know how it is with technology. Sometimes you think you did it and then you go back and it didn't work. Right. So if you don't see that email, I would definitely pop back on and just check it out. And then once you know you've submitted, you received your email saying, yes, we are enrolled, or you've submitted that enrollment. Within about 2 to 3 days, you will hear back from enrollment. You're going to get one of 2 things. Either you're going to get an email saying, congrats, you're approved. Your enrollment has been accepted and approved. Or you might hear from enrollment saying, hey, it looks like we might be missing something. Maybe a lot of times, I think Michelle can validate this, a lot of things that they come back to you for is maybe when you uploaded your document, it wasn't the full document, it was just maybe a portion. So enrollment will reach out to you with any questions they have or additional information they might need. So that's within about 2 to 3 days, you should hear back from enrollment, either you've been approved or we might need more information. And then once that happens, you do go ahead and get your teacher assignment. So you'll know who your teacher is. And then teachers should be reaching out to their families, their new students, I would say in the coming month. And they'll be setting up our ILP meeting. So for our new families at Epic, the ILP is major. It's our individualized learning plan. It's where you're going to meet with your teacher, introduce yourself, go over your goals and your expectations for your student, and your teacher's going to tell you theirs. And you're going to really get a feel for what your school year is going to look like. You'll order your curriculum there, any technology you might need. And so once that meeting is done, you are good to go. You're ready for the first day of school in August 21st, I believe. And so you're good to go for the school year once that meeting has happened. So that's kind of what to expect. When you hit submit on that enrollment, that's kind of the process in which things are going to go.
Yeah, Ashley, that is awesome. And speaking to the individualized learning plan meeting, that is the most amazing meeting because it gets you an opportunity to set the tone for the year. You get an opportunity to get to know your teacher. You really connect. So I always look forward to that initial meeting with my family. So very important to know that date will be set by your teacher. So next we have questions for Michelle. We're going to pivot now and ask her a couple questions. Michelle, you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So our first question is, what happens when the name on the proof of residency isn't on the contact sheet for our students?
So it kind of can be 2 different things. It could be to where maybe mom is the one that's been, the main one for enrollment all of this time. And all the bills are in dad's name. So if it really is like one of the parents, first we will reach out to the family via email and ask, is this a parent? If it is, we just gather their information and we can add them as a secondary parent. So in that case, we would just add dad, and then that proof of residency would be good to go. Some cases, it could be that they maybe live with another family, and so that proof of residency is in that other family's name. So at that point, they could just send in an affidavit saying, yes, this family does live with us. All the bills are in our name. As long as it's signed and notarized, then we can use that as a proof of residency for them.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
Yeah, good to know.
Sure. Yes, thanks. Thank you for that. Good.
You're welcome.
And so I would say my next question would be, I hear this a lot from families. They are having a hard time uploading their documents. Maybe they don't have the correct technology, or they just can't quite get it to work. What can families do when they're not able to upload those documents that they need for enrollment?
Yeah, if there's something that they can't upload for some reason, email those into enrollment and let us know that they're having trouble. A lot of times we can go ahead and our end, go ahead and upload that for them, and then they can just log back in and finish submitting the application. Every once in a while, we do have some that for some reason they are just stuck. I had one on Friday. So they emailed me their proof of residency. I went ahead and uploaded it, and then I called her on the phone and we just kind of did it over the phone so I could go ahead and finish it on our end for her.
That's great. That is really awesome for us because we really appreciate the support that we're receiving from you and your team on enrollment. We know some families need it, and we appreciate you giving that to us.
Of course.
So, okay, so now we're going to open up the floor for questions, and here's how we're going to. Here's our protocol. What you'll do is you have a question. You're going to go ahead and either type in the chat box for us right now, or you can raise your hand, and Ashley and I will answer your questions. So go ahead. Anybody can type anything into the chat box or raise your hand if you have a question. Anyone have anything?
Let's see. Trying to tell here.
Okay.
Don't see any.
Okay. Well, no questions currently. Michelle, let me ask you one other. Are there any other proof of residency that you can mention to us that might be a viable option? I know we mentioned the utility bill. Are there any other suggestions that you can give to our families?
Yeah, if they have a current like voter registration card,
okay.
If their ID, their driver's license is current, they can send that in as well. We do have some families that actually live in RV parks. So we can take a receipt as long as it has, it's an actual receipt from the RV park and it has their lot number and everything. We can accept those as well.
Okay, that's great to know. I'm trying to think of any other options or questions that we've received. We've received so many as teachers and as a part of this team now. I think that you have done such a great job of covering a lot of the information so far.
I see one now.
Okay, good.
Carla, I see one here. Michelle, this is probably one that you can answer. They said there's a family that has asked me what they submit if they're currently homeless. So could you touch on what to do in that situation?
Yeah, so if they are actually homeless, they are going to mark that on the application, and that automatically flags on our end when we go to approve it that we do not have to have any sort of proof of residency from them. We can go ahead and approve without that.
Okay, very good. Excellent. I have a question for you, Michelle. This is actually a current family of mine. What if they are living in between homes, I guess, if that makes sense? They had some damage to their home during one of the recent storms and is really seriously in between houses right now, and they don't have any bills that were in the time frame that was listed that we need. Do you have any suggestions for that family?
Right. So if they're staying at like a hotel or anything, we can also take receipts from that. If not, say if they're staying with another family, that's actually one of the options on the application. So they would just click, because they're kind of homeless, but they're not. But there is a section to where it says that they are living with another family. So kind of doubled up in the same home. So they could go ahead and mark that, and then we would see that on the application and go ahead and get them approved.
Okay. Oh, that's outstanding. Well, again, we appreciate all your support you're giving our families right now. I know that we could all use it, and we're ready to get enrolled now. So, Ashley, can you think of anything else that we might want to offer to our audience that might be of support to them during this
Sure.
time?
Yeah, I think another question that I hear is people want to know, can they request a specific teacher? So Carla, I'll let you answer that one. I know that's something I've heard a few times from families recently.
Absolutely, I can answer that. Yes, you can request a certain teacher, and you definitely need to make sure you know that their last name. And in the Dropbox, it would say to you that you can put that teacher's name in the drop box. Okay, does that answer the question for you?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's good to know, because sometimes
Yes.
you're talking to a friend that's been at Epic and they love they love their teacher, and you want to make sure they're like, I want to come to Epic, but I have to have this specific teacher, and they worry that they can't. And as long as that teacher has room on their roster, the good news is you can request a specific teacher, which I think is just great.
Michelle, I want to make sure, did I answer that properly?
Yes. Just to add on, basically, once we get to an application, in the beginning, of course, no teachers were full, but they're starting to get full now. So what we do is when we find an application that they are requesting a teacher, we just look to make sure that they do still have room on their roster. If they do, then we go ahead and place them with that teacher. Yes.
Wow, that is an excellent point. Just to kind of make sure our audience understands what Michelle is referring to, Epic is very specific, and we want to make sure that your student is getting the appropriate teaching access to their teacher, and the amount of time that is needed to give them the maximum amount of educational opportunities possible. So we do have a cap on our roster sizes for our teachers, which is amazing for our students. This allows us to really give them the attention they deserve and what they need. So that is actually a good thing, Michelle. But, and I'm glad you mentioned that there are some opportunities that there might be a teacher's roster who is full. So, and that would be the reason why.
Oh, I see. I missed a question. I apologize. Let's see. That was Beth. I did not see your question. Beth says, my kids have been in Epic for 2 years. We have enjoyed it, but have not been able to find a curriculum we like. Can we participate through Epic if we go with a curriculum that is not provided through Epic?
I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. Epic does a lot of research into the curriculums that we provide. I can confirm that. And I will say that is, to my knowledge, for the past 4 years, the only Epic curriculum that is allowed is what Epic provides. So what I would recommend is sitting with your teacher and making sure you maybe create some opportunities to have a discussion about what your likes are, what your dislikes are, and what your concerns are. Because I know the teachers that I work with are very concerned and want the absolute best for your child. So, and that's what Epic is amazing about, is making sure we're getting input from families about the outcomes for their students. So I hope that helps you. I tell you what, though, we are going to have some additional Ask Epic opportunities that we will discuss questions like curriculum and all. So look for those coming up, and we'll dig a little deeper, and maybe we can uncover something that maybe perhaps your teacher has not offered before, or that wasn't available before. So that's what my recommendation would be. And matter of fact, would you mind putting your email in the chat box? I would love to keep in touch with you so that we can make sure we circle back to you and get some additional information regarding curriculum.
Yeah, that's great, Carla. Thank you. And I was going to say too, we do always have a lot of additional supplements that can kind of help out if you feel like your core is maybe missing something. I know that that's something a lot of teachers use in addition. Got some other questions here. One, Pamela is asking us to explain the different curriculums. I'll tell you this, Pamela, I believe, let me double check here. We are going to go over curriculum. So I would say that might be we can touch on that, but I do think we're going to cover that in a webinar here soon, all the different curriculums, because that is.
I love the curriculum questions, Ashley. I think that is such a priority for families. If you have a curriculum question, please put your email in the chat box for me, if you don't mind. You can, and I can even put my email address. I'd love to hear from you, and we can uncover some specifics, because every child is different, every situation is different, every need is different. Sure. And we'd love to speak to you specifically about what questions you might have, okay? And then like Ashley didn't mention, we are going to have a specific Ask Epic about curriculum.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I see another question here, and they said, can my regular ed and special ed children have the same teacher?
Absolutely, they can. That is one, again, back to Michelle's point of the roster size. I had that happen a lot as a SPED teacher. I had families that wanted their students to stay together, and we understand that. It's very important for us to make sure we're taking care of the needs of our families. So what I would recommend that you do is, Miss Amy, when you enroll, make sure you request the same teacher, and then therefore, you can maybe put that. Miss Michelle, is there a place? Remind me, is there a place in the comment section that a person could request the same teacher for both their students?
There is in the application, I believe it asks if there's other siblings, and they can put their names, and then we can, but we do try to, especially if they submit all the applications about the same time, if they do, one right after the other. Okay. But if not, they can always send an email to Enrollment with all of their students' names, just to make sure that we get them all with the same teacher.
Good. Thank you, Michelle. I've always had families that have requested. You all have always worked with us. So thank you for asking that question. That's a really good question. Let's see.
I think Claudia is asking, what are the documents required for enrollment? We kind of went over that, but I'll just reiterate real quick. To enroll, you're going to need your birth certificate, your shot record, and your proof of residency. So those are the 3 things you'll need.
And I just want to add to that, if a student is enrolled by any person other than their natural mother or father, we will also need guardianship paperwork. So if it's a foster family, you've gotten guardianship of maybe a granddaughter or something like that, you can just upload that paperwork, and then, because we will need that to go ahead and get them approved.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. That's very important. I appreciate that. Do we have any other questions?
Let's see here.
Okay, Pamela, I see your email on here, so I'm going to make sure that we have those. And Miss Beth Hunt, I have yours as well. So thank you all for providing that.
Is there, things just moved real fast for me, so hopefully I didn't see anything. I just see one. It says, is there a way to go on a wait list for a teacher that is currently full? Michelle, I'm going to ask you. I don't know that. I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Usually what we do is, if there is a teacher that is already full and this family just really wants them, we will forward that email over to the principal, because as you know, probably at the beginning of the school year or right before school, rosters can shift a lot. So we will send that over to the principal, just so that principal knows, hey, if there are any spots available, this family really wants on that teacher's roster.
Good.
And they will do whatever they can to make sure that they get that teacher.
Good.
Great. That's a great question, Amanda. I haven't seen that, so that's great.
It is. Do you see the one from Amanda, Ashley? It says, families that are enrolled and use their self-purchase ASALUS programs, will that still be allowed pending their team approval? what I'd like to do, Miss Amanda, is make sure that you have our host email, which is, I'm going to go ahead and just state it. It's edt@epiccharterschools.org, and mention that you were on an Ask Epic and ask us that question, because I'd like to make sure I get that appropriate answer for you before I answer that one. Okay. So please make sure, Miss Amanda, that you email us. Okay. Okay. See any more? I see the wait list question. Do you see any others, Ashley?
I'm scrolling here. Sometimes they all jump up at me real
The
quick.
same time.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Okay.
I think we've got them all. Let's see. One thing we might want to touch on with enrollment, I know I'm getting this question a lot in regards to our virtual learning centers. Is there a wait list? And if you get placed on the wait list, what is the likelihood that you're going to get off? So I know right now we have a wait list for, let's see, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Stonegate and the mid-high for both Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Yes.
Michelle, could you tell us more about what, if let's say they opt to go on the wait list and wait it out, what could you tell us, what are the likelihoods that you think they would end up making it in?
Yeah, especially right now, because, again, kids are kind of moving all over the place. Not all of them, but some. Some accidentally choose the virtual learning center when they really wanted one-on-one. So we kind of have to, make adjustments for that. But once they are on that wait list, then someone at the VLC that they're wanting, as soon as the spot becomes available, they will call them. Make sure they are still wanting to be at the VLC, and if they are, then they will move them over. If they haven't been approved yet, they'll let us know so we can go ahead and switch it and then get them approved. But if they've been approved already, they can always make that switch anytime there is a spot available.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I know for me, because I talk to a lot of families, and I'm getting a lot of families asking about the VLC this year, which I totally understand. I got to go and tour them just not too long ago, and I was so impressed with what I saw. Oh my gosh, it was so great. And so I totally understand why there's a wait list, because they're amazing.
Yes,
let me see here. Just looking really quickly, let's see if I have any others that had popped up.
I don't see any others. I think we have covered. Does anyone else have any other questions? And like I said, here's one. What is the residency requirement for the immersion schools?
I think she's talking about Heritage. Is that right, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. My understanding is Michelle, I don't think there is one necessarily. Is that correct?
I don't think there is. No, there used to be. They had to live in Oklahoma County, but this year, as far as I know, there's not any sort of residency requirement for Heritage.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, very good, excellent.
And I see another one that I wanted to talk about. Let's say, because we do have different models to choose from when enrolling, and sometimes you're just not sure what's going to be the right fit. A popular one that we're talking about a lot right now is Schoolhouse, and everybody's interested and wants to try. But I get the question, let's say maybe we decide it's not the right fit, and maybe we do prefer one-to-one. Carla, are they allowed to switch back to one-to-one or vice versa to Schoolhouse if they choose?
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the flexibility and the options with Epic, because we know that we want families to have what's best for their student. And sometimes when school starts, it's just not the right fit. So I love that we do have that option for families. Once you get going and you get the school year on, if you decide that the academy is not for you, then yes, you can switch back to one-on-one. So it's one of those situations, just have open communication with your teacher and be willing to possibly be patient if we do have to make that transition or when we make that transition. So that's basically, it happens all the time, and we're always willing to accommodate our families. Yeah. Michelle, do you want to add anything else to that?
Yeah, I was just say, I mean, they can switch anytime that they feel. Of course, we're here for the students and what is best for them. So if it's just not working out, then yes, definitely we will make that switch for them as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming that. I know it happens a lot, so
Yeah.
it's fine. And then also, I just wanted to say this as a teacher. I do know that at times, sometimes the teacher is not a good fit. And I will say this as a former teacher that I love all my students, but sometimes it's not a good fit. And that's okay too. And I love how Michelle put it. We want what's best for your family. We want what's best for your student. So we also offer that as an option. I don't know if a lot of families know about that, but it is an option for you as a family.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Carla, for mentioning that. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, you have total flexibility. One thing that's really unique about Epic, and this is something I find myself saying all the time, it's not one size fits all. And as a parent or a caregiver of a student at Epic, you're in the driver's seat right there with the teacher. You guys are co-captains. So you get to really help drive that car of where your student's headed and what path they're on, which, isn't always the case. And so I think that's what makes it really unique for us at Epic.
I like that co-captain analogy. I'm just visualizing a teacher holding the wheel and the parent, and then I see the student in the background just hanging on.
They might be on a crazy road. It might be kind of bumpy, but you know what? They're trucking along.
But they're going to make it. They're going to make
That's
it.
right.
They do great. I like that analogy.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's see. Are there any other questions today? I would love to answer any questions if you have any. Or Michelle, is there anything else that you can think of that's really pertinent to enrollment that maybe we should touch on?
Trying to think if there is anything. Just to let them know that the application is available in English and Spanish. Just so they know that is very helpful for a lot of the families. And I think that's about it. I mean, you mentioned that, if you get halfway through the application and you've forgotten something, or you need to go dig it out of storage, anything like that, you can always, stop and come back. It's going to save your progress. So that's really nice. If you have any trouble with anything, of course, you can call. The customer service reps are awesome. If for some reason they don't know an answer to something, they will reach out to us so we can let them know. Always feel free to, send an email to enrollment@epiccharterschools.org, and we can get those answers or those questions answered for you as fast as possible.
Excellent. Very good. Well, we appreciate you coming on with us today. I think, Ashley, I felt so good about having you on. I knew you would. We called you the expert all week, Michelle.
Well, thanks.
You are the expert. So we appreciate you supporting us today on Ask Epic.
Of course. I'm so happy to be
without
here.
you.
Yeah.
Good.
We have, one final question.
Okay.
When is the last day to enroll in order to have Learning Fund access?
I believe in the past it was October 1. I don't know if it's the exact date this year, but it's usually the October 1st or right around there.
Yeah. Okay.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. And I was just going to say, sometimes I think it varies from year to year, does it, Michelle?
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Very good.
But yes, I can find out for sure if.
Okay. Well, we can, if we know that we can get that person's email address and make sure we email that information back to them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, that was Miss Amanda that asked that question. Thank you for your questions, by the way. Your questions have been great. So we appreciate everyone in giving input, and we appreciate the questions that have come up today. That's excellent. Are we answering everything? Let me read and make sure.
I think we have.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if we don't have any other questions, Carla, what do you think? Should we?
Yeah. Well, I think we'll go ahead and say thank you so much for your time for joining us today. And tune in next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. when we will discuss the learning models of EPIC. with all the options available to students. I'm really excited about this one next week, Ashley. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have another special guest with us to help answer questions. So, Michelle, you will be released from, from being on the spot. But seriously, we thank you again for joining us.
Thank
We
you
want to
so
make
much.
sure that we cover all the models available to you.
Yeah. And so, and if you have, if you're thinking about enrolling or maybe even re-enrolling, but you still have further questions or just need more information, reach out to Carla and I. We're with the Epic development team, and that's what we're here for, is to answer questions for those of you that would like to enroll or re-enroll, but just want to get more of a feel for what Epic is all about. That's what we're here for. And so you can email, I know we've put it in the chat, but I'll say it one more time. Our team email is edt@epiccharterschools.org. And our phone number is the Epic phone number, but our extension is 489. So that's 405-749-4550. Extension 489. So thank you guys so much. And I hope if you, like I said, if you have any questions at all or want more information, please reach out to us. I would love to chat with you whenever you're ready.
I guess the question of the hour is if you learn anything about enrollment, give us a smiley face or a thumbs up. Let us know that you feel, you learned some kind of information today that you didn't know before, if you can do that for us. So if not, we just appreciate you being a part of the call today and being a part of this webinar, Ask Epic. We know that we really want to make sure that our families feel secure and confident about enrollment, and we look forward to answering many other questions that you might possibly have. Join us next week for Ask Epic. Bye, everybody.
Bye.